everyone and welcome to this very short video, because many of you were asking me how you can carry your knife, your blade on your duty belt if you are working as a police officer or security officer and you have an open carry. I created this short video to share with you my view and to make you understand what are that exceptional situations when you can extract and access your blade, and also what are the best positions to carry a knife on your duty belt. I will share with you in this video some of the positions in which I advise you to carry your blade on your duty belt. I want to say from the beginning that of course that the materials, the equipment that I have on me now, it's different from your equipment, but I only share with you the principle. So you must take this and apply it to your own equipment and test it and try to train and create different kind of drills to see if it's working for you. For this particular video, I'm using a training handgun. Even if it's a training handgun, we check and we respect the safety and security procedure in such a way that all the time we are training our brain to respect that and to not create an incident. So I don't have a magazine inside, but still I'm checking. I am putting the slide on the back, checking inside, looking to see if I have live ammunition. All is clear. Now I can use this for training. I have a lateral holster, nothing fancy. I am using this especially for my dry fire training and to explain different kind of things. I have a normal belt, duty belt on the exterior. Of course you will have other type of model, and for this type of video I will use, this is my new ADC blade. It's designed by Bjorn Knives. I will put a link below so you can see what type of knives he is doing. It's a very good blade. Already I was testing it, and I will put soon a video with this knife and the test that I was making with it. I attach in the first technique and in the first way of carry the blade in the appendix position. This knife comes with a multi-clip that can be attached to the belt or inside to the waistband. So I have it in this position for the first technique, and I will explain to you what are the cons, what are the pros for this type of concealed carry. It's not existing a perfect conceal method. Sorry, I was saying concealed carry. For this carry, it's not existing a perfect way of carrying your knife, 100% the best way of carrying. No, there are different ways, and all these techniques are having, all these methods are having pros and cons, and we'll discuss about this. So this is the first position. Of course, you as a law enforcement officer or other type of I don't know, security officer that you have an open carry, you can have also for sure other type of materials, handcuffs, maybe a metal extendable baton and so on, taser, or I don't know what kind of things. I am showing the position that I advise you to carry, and then you must test it and apply it in different kind of drills, how I was saying to you earlier, and to see what is suitable for you. I want to start from the beginning to underline that to be able to perform with the blade in a close range type of situation in which somebody is making retention on my hand, with the weapon, or I have a malfunction on my handgun, because I will underline immediately what are the situation, this exceptional situation in which I will use the blade. These type of situations are requiring special training under pressure and stress factors. So it's not only repeating mechanically some moves. If that type of drills, that type of movements that you practice in a relaxed environment, you master it, and then you don't pass to the next level in which you put it under pressure and stress factors with partners that they're opposing resistance, with different kind of elements that will influence your ability of deploying the fire weapon or the blade, it will not help you so much. Again, I repeat, in a real situation, fight, flight, freeze, response, adrenaline will rush in your body, fine motor skills will not operate at the same level, tunnel vision will appear, blood is redirected to big groups of muscle, strengthening of the palms, increasing of the respiration, increasing of the heartbeats, and many other changes that will influence your ability of having a good response to that particular situation. So we try, after we master the skills, to come with stress and pressure factors that will simulate or will reproduce some of these changes that we find in real situation. From the beginning, I am never a promoter of this type of fantasy drills and moves in which somebody is using the gun and also the knife in the same time when the gun is functioning. This is total crap. So I am having my fire weapon, that is the superior weapon, that is the primary weapon, and I have a secondary weapon that is the blade, and it's a backup weapon. So I will use this blade, I will extract it from there to use it in a particular fighting situation only when my fire weapon has a malfunction and that is requiring a long time to fix, and I have somebody very close near me attacking me or making retention on my weapon, and I need to extract my blade to create that space and time so I can resolve my malfunction and put that handgun again in the fight. So this is, or maybe when I remain without ammunition and the only thing that I have is the blade, and I have my aggressor, my suspect close towards me, and I need to use the backup weapon. So these are the situations in which we extract and you use the blade. Not fantasy, not Hollywood movie type of techniques. A very important element is to understand that you need to train with the both hands. If all the drills that you are making, you perform them only with a strong hand, with the right hand, and now you are on your job, you are having this type of duty belt with your handgun on the strong hand, and now you are occupied, you have this hand occupied with your fire weapon, and suddenly you have a malfunction and you have a suspect that is very close to you attacking you, and now this is taking so much time to resolve, or maybe is making retention of the weapon, you are fighting on that weapon. Then if you are not training never to utilize the left hand for deploying your blade and striking, having precision, being fast in your movements, it will not work. You need to practice. The left hand must very good, it must have basically approximately the same skills like your strong hand. I was saying about the left hand, but maybe you are a left-handed strong, your strong arm hand is the left-handed, so you train the other one. So all the time we must train ourselves using the both hands. My students, or the ones that they are following my teachings for a long time, they already know that I promote the appendix position carry. Even if it's a concealed appendix position carry or now open carry because of your duty belt, I promote this. But I want to underline, it's not existing the perfect way of carry. Every type, every method, every position has pros and cons. Now, when I discuss about this type of position, I want also to make you understand that it's in strict connection of the type of the blade that you are carrying. If you have a long blade, I want to tell you from the beginning that it will become very uncomfortable when you are sitting. If you are a police officer or that is driving, patrolling with the car for a long period, sitting and having that sheath of the knife stabbing you pushing you in the inguinal area, it will become very uncomfortable, and in a few days you don't carry anymore in that position. This is the reason why a very important element is choosing the right blade suitable for your activities. You don't need a long blade. You will access this very fast when you are in a situation in which very close distant fight, retention of the weapon, malfunction, your suspect, your aggressor is near you, and I need a type of blade that has that pointed tip to access the shock zones, eyes, trachea, or become deadly if is needing, accessing the heart, kidneys, and so on. So choosing the best blade, it's a critical element when we talk about carrying in this position. In this video, I'm not showing you techniques with the blade in relation with the handgun. For this, you have my latest video course, Gun and Knife, where I am teaching different kind of drills that you can implement in your training, and they are based on the both weapons. What particular situations and what type of methods and techniques you can do when you are in a close distance, you have a retention on the weapon, malfunction, and an aggressor that is in a very close distance, and you use that blade. Basically that it was made more for concealed carry, but can be applied, all the principles can be applied also to a duty belt with the open carry. So again, we come back to our position. I have it in the appendix carry position. Good parts, good elements that I can identify for this type of carry. Very easy to deploy, very fast, in a very good position that is permitting me to have a lot of force to penetrate, to access the shock zones. Bad parts, cons, are basically one of them. It's the it can be very uncomfortable if you don't choose the right length of the blade. Another one, but this is applying not to this only to this type of carry, but also if you carry on the lateral, and I will show you immediately the next type of carry that is with the blade put it in horizontal position. The both, one of the cons is that the aggressor, or the one that you have in front, can also access your blade. So if I'm fighting now, I have my fire weapon, I have a malfunction, something is happening, retention of the weapon, we are fighting on this blade, I have the blade in front, doesn't matter that it's in the horizontal position or like this vertical in the appendix position, it can also take the blade from my holster, from the sheath of the knife. So this is requiring a lot of awareness and knowing how to use your body, and to train yourself to deploy that blade very fast, but also having in your mind techniques to counter that type of situation if somebody wants to take your blade from there when you are fighting, for example, for the gun. The next position that I recommend is in the horizontal position. Now, again, pro and cons. The main idea is that this it will be more comfortable when you have long periods of sitting, patrolling with the car, or different kind of activities that is requiring this type of sitting position. And also, I cannot say that it's more slower than deploying from the appendix position. Still, it's very fast because I have it basically in the same area how it was in the appendix position, and can be also much easier to deploy because, for example, I have now another knife, the Obake. This is the from CRKT, nothing special, nothing very expensive, but very good design for penetration. I have it in this position, and because it's attached on the waistband, the handle between my body and the knife is remaining some space. And this is permitting when I'm to grip the knife much better when I want to take it outside. So at the other position, when I have it in the appendix position vertically, I must grip the knife but I don't have between my body and that blade so much space like here. Here it's more easy to deploy it in the lateral position. But what are the cons to this type of position? If I am fighting for my weapon, I have a malfunction or I remain without bullets, and now I am fighting on this particular weapon, not because I don't have, maybe I remain without ammunition and I must make an exchange of the magazine, but already I am in a type of situation in which I have retention on the weapon. Now, imagine, and here again I repeat and I underline, I am sharing only principles. This type of principles you must implement it in trainings with partners that are opposing resistance, very close to reality, to fight on that weapon, on that training gun in such a way that it's putting you more close to a real situation, so to deploy your blade from there. So if I am fighting now for this weapon, and guys, here I'm not talking about my aggressor having a grip like in these crab techniques in which is catching you by the hands and I don't know what kind of movements you are doing. I'm talking about somebody that seriously is putting all his force and his body, letting his body weight and fighting for that. Basically, the first thing that is happening is that your body will not remain anymore in a stance, in a fixed position with a height at the same level. If I'm remaining here, immediately when somebody is really putting force and begins to grip and to make retention on my hand and my weapon, I will go down because I will be very easy and unbalanced. So the fight, my body position, it will be more down and will begin to fight on the weapon. Now, when this is happening and it's happening with force, this hand here and our body and how we are moving, it will be in a continuous change. It will move continuous and it will be a lot of force and unpredictable movements because you fight for that particular weapon. So now if I am fighting for that gun, and this is a technique that I'm showing, for example, in the video course that I was saying to you, the gun and knife video course. Basically here, if this gun, if this pistol is now not able to fire anymore because I have a double fit, a malfunction or something is happening, and now I am fighting for this weapon, this finger that we are all the time putting up because of the safety and security procedures, yeah, you will be, when you will not be able to fire, of course, in a real situation, if you are training all the time to take your finger from the trigger guard, this it will apply also in a real situation if you are not training for that. So by having the finger, by bringing the finger up and now fighting, this it will be a very, very bad decision. Very easy, can snap if it's twisted, can break the finger, and you will not have a good grip here because of this finger. So if I'm fighting for that gun that is not functioning anymore, this type of grip from here, I transfer it in a hammer grip. So by having on the gun the hammer grip now, I will have more force than here, and very easy it can be controlled if I have that extended index finger. So I come immediately with the index finger on my gun, dragging it towards my body if I can, if I have the force. And of course, it's very easy now in a relaxed environment only to speak about this. You understand that I'm sharing principles. So I'm taking this type of grip, hammer grip, taking the handgun near me, letting my body position be more balanced, more grounded. And now what is the bad part with this type of extracting the blade in this position is this hand, it will move and I will be very close to my aggressor. So when I want to deploy this blade, because I will put a lot of pressure and a lot of force, because we talk about gross motor skills, fine motor skills will not functioning at the same level, so I will be more brutal in my move. This is requiring this type of movement. Yeah, a lot of power, and take it in lateral. Now imagine that maybe here is the body of my aggressor and we fight for this blade. very hard to deploy it from this position. Imagine that my hand can move in that type of scenario, and maybe I'm slicing my hand, or maybe I'm blocking in the hand when I want to extract my blade. So there are different type of elements that can influence your ability to deploy from this position. I am not like in normal condition here and I'm extracting my blade. If it was like this, very easy. Now I'm fighting and I have in the front of my body the fire weapon and also my aggressor, and we are fighting on this fire weapon. So this, it can be a problem in this type of position. If I have it in the appendix position, even if I'm fighting, I am extracting the blade up. Even if my target is very close to me, only a little bit to twist my training dummy, even if my target is very close to me and we are fighting, when I'm extracting in this position, I must only create a little bit of space, twisting the blade, and now I can already access and enter with my blade, even if I don't have a lot of space. Only pushing my body, still I can create some damage. If I have a little bit of space, of course this is going very fast towards eyes, towards shock zones. So, pros and cons on each side. You must understand that in every kind of situation, for example, for me, I prefer to have a little bit of discomfort of not being so comfortable of wearing a blade in the appendix position, but choosing the right one, not a big long blade, so it's not disturbing me so much, but being able to deploy that blade also when I'm having a grappling type of situation. Here a little bit of obstacles can appear when I want to deploy it from this position. Now, what is my opinion? If you as a law enforcement officer, or I don't know, security officer, that you are wearing an open carry, you have like a backup knife, a folding knife, a pocket knife. Yeah. So first, you cannot compare a fixed blade with a pocket knife. And again, I know that I was repeating and I was every time underlining this, but it's a very important thing that all the time I want to put in your head. So, pocket knife, folding knife, especially the ones that they are not automatical, are requiring, and also if you are having an automatical one that is requiring pushing with the finger a button, that is fine motor skill. I have here from CRKT a normal pocket knife that is requiring to push with my index finger, or I don't know, maybe I have other positions. You can also, in this position, if you have a more strong material, you can I'm only pushing on that and it's opening. Doesn't matter, the idea is that you must push this flip button in such a way that the blade is opening. This is a fine motor skill. This is requiring fine motor skills. So if I am in a life or death situation in which I'm fighting on this handgun, man, it will be very, very hard to push with the index finger to open this folding knife when you need it. It's not this relaxed situation in which I am in a room, in a training room, or you are, I don't know, at the gym or in the shooting range, and you want to make a drill combining deploying your fire weapon, your knife, and then going shooting to your target and so on. It's not a relaxed environment. You will be in a life or death situation. Very, very hard to make this in real life or death scenarios. So, one, bad choice. Second, even if you have an automatical one that is requiring to push a button, still there are many, many cons. One of it is requiring fine motor skill to push that button. That folding knife, even if it's automatical, or spring knife is made from different kind of components, and so one day it can have a malfunction, dirt can enter inside between where you push the button, or other kind of things that can happen, and it cannot function, and you don't want your blade when you need it to not be able to put it in the fight, to open it. because until this weapon, even if you have it in your hand, until the blade is not locked, it's not ready to use. The blade is dead. So you must bring it alive by pushing, by extending that blade. So I am not a promoter of this type of knives. Still, many people, civilians are carrying, and also law enforcement are carrying this blade. If you carry it for, I don't know, different kind of normal activities, I don't know, cutting boxes, making different kind of normal stuff with the knife, not combat, it's okay. But if you choose that for fighting, for being a combat blade, a backup knife for your fire weapon, very, very wrong tactic in my opinion. Now, let's say that you carry one. If you are carrying on the same side with your fire weapon, then very complicated, because if you want to use that like a backup weapon when you have a retention on your fire weapon, already if you are a right-handed and I'm fighting for this weapon, means that I cannot use my strong hand and I have my knife on the same part of my strong hand. So if I want to take it now with the left hand, being in a fighting position, really fighting, going on the ground, I don't know, different kind of scenarios, bringing this hand to the other pocket, take it outside, twist my blade, opening it and use it, man, very, very it's basically impossible, in my opinion, to make this, very hard to make it. And if you will make it, it's because you are having a lot of luck. Your aggressor, it was not trained enough, maybe it was creating some space there. You must not base your type of response on an idea of, if I will have the luck to happen this. You must test in your training, prepare yourself, try it under stress and pressure factors to understand what are the best options that you can implement in your daily carry, in your daily activities as a law enforcement officer. So one, even if I carry a folding knife, never on this side. So if I use my strong hand for the handgun, the blade all the time, if I want to carry it, it will be on the other side. This is one of the rules. Now, even if I'm putting, I prefer than to put it in the pocket, to put it how I was showing you earlier, in an appendix position to my belt. More easy than to extend my hand until down, putting my finger, I must go with my thumb finger between my leg and the blade, and the others to come on it, take it outside and then opening. Of course, this type of folding knife is designed and has the clip for the strong-handed me, so I can open it. If I'm changing it now in the other part, it will not work because the blade is opening now towards my hand. I only put it here like an understanding. I must change this clip on the other side so it can be used also for the left side. But I only tell you like an idea to understand how it's functioning. So even if I have, it doesn't matter on one hand, if I am a left-handed and I'm taking from here, I am requiring this, and then using. Being in a fight, fighting for that weapon with the aggressor that it's also punching you, or maybe has also a knife and it's stabbing you in that moment, very, very hard, guys. And you must understand this from the beginning. So folding knife, not a go for me in a situation in which you are having a duty belt, you have a handgun. Try to choose a fixed blade. If you don't have the possibility of the fixed blade, or maybe the legislation is not permitting you as a police officer or security guard, security officer, I don't know, to carry this type of fixed blade, you have many options. This is how I say from Microtech, it's a tactical penetrator. It's basically a metal spike, not very, very pointed, but is designed to penetrate soft tissues. And you can have one of these, apply it in an appendix position or lateral position, still enough to incapacitate, to access the shock zones. So why I prefer this and I don't prefer the folding knife? Because this is requiring fine motor skills, a lot of time to use, made by components. This is only a spike, a metal spike, pointed tip, only extracted, use it. Again, I repeat, like every time I'm saying to you, if you want to understand what type of weapons or what is the main characteristic, my main element that the weapon for stabbing or for using from close distance must have is the pointed tip. Look at the inmates in the prisons and you will see what type of weapons we're using for killing other inmates, and all they are pointed objects in such a way that they can access deadly type of zones on the body. Heart, trachea, how I'm showing you many times, stabbing to the kidney is very easy to make with this, stabbing on the lateral, on the left side, accessing the heart between rib number 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 6, intercostal space, penetrate. Trachea, eyes, kidneys, shock zones can be accessed with this. So this is the reason why a simple tool like this or other kind of tools you can have. Immediately I'm showing you, I have here, I was showing you also in the past, it's only a simple spike. It's from carbon fiber. It was an arrow cut and giving the shape of a pointed tip that can be used to access shock zones. Of course, you must understand the limitation of this weapon. Yeah, but as an idea, pointed objects are more dangerous than cutting objects. And again, I remind you, not that with the cutting objects you cannot inflict damage or kill your opponent. Yes, of course, if you are cutting the main blood vessels, arteries, carotid arteries, femoral arteries, axillary arteries, subclavian artery and so on, of course it's leading to the death. But again, I want to remind you, I want to access shock zones, because by hitting that shock zone, it's stopping my aggressor from his action in that moment. So if I'm fighting on the weapon, I need a shock zone, a blade that is penetrating his eye, globe of the eye, centering in the orbit of the eye, passing to the cavernous sinus. All it's over there, it's stopping from his action. Yeah, so these are the type of tools that I am needing. So for a folding knife, I am not pro. I am against, especially when you have the possibility to carry other type of weapons. There are also police officers or other type of operators that basically they can have this lateral holster and a belt or maybe a normal belt, and they will have also a jacket, and it's functioning like a concealment, yeah, to not be so evident the gun, or maybe they are operating like this and they have a jacket on it. Of course, if you are having a jacket given by the police unit or from the company that you are working, I don't know, different kind of scenarios, and it's covering your duty belt, you are having an open carry and your jacket is like this is not a correct way. Of course, I'm not teaching you here how to wear your things, you are much better than me at this. I'm only saying that if it will be like this and it will go, it will cover your handgun when you must carry your handgun in an open carry, it will be an obstacle, because you have one more movement to make in such a way that you can deploy that handgun, and it's the cloth that it's an obstacle and you must take it from there. But there are other type of operators that they are having a type of concealed carry on the lateral holster and they are wearing a jacket. So if I am making this, of course that in this position, if I will carry, for example, only to show you, if I will carry my blade in the lateral type, horizontal, how I was showing you, and now I will have a jacket that is not closed, this it will see, it will be evident, it will identify the blade.
but by having my weapon in the appendix position and moving only a little bit aside, not too much, only a little bit, now when I'm letting the jacket in the normal position, it's not so visible, and still I can access my blade very fast. It's exactly here is functioning exactly how I am accessing the handgun. So if I have a lateral holster and I have the jacket, very easy, I'm giving the jacket in the lateral, I'm extracting my handgun, taking my aim, putting that fire weapon in the fire. Of course, all this with movement. I'm not insisting on these elements anymore. I'm showing from a fixed position, only to remind you with this type of method with the jacket. If I have the knife, it's the same. I only make it in the lateral position. Here I neither must be so much with my hand. I can make it only here until I'm arriving to my blade, and I can extract that particular weapon from there, from that position. So all the time we are having different kind of situations, and based on these two concepts, two ways of carry, in the appendix position vertically and in the waistband in the horizontal position, you must test this on your own. Try to identify what is suitable for you. Make different kind of drills with a training knife, with a training weapon, with partners that they are attacking you, trying to make that retention on your weapon, and try to take your blade outside and use it. Again, it's not stopping here, this type of drills that are also involving pressure and stress factors. You can also simulate meteorological factors. Yeah, if I have now, for example, I am in a cold type of environment and my fingers are not having anymore the motricity because it's very cold outside, I cannot move it like in a normal environment, it will be more hard to do all these movements. So you can do very easy techniques. You see this in many type of I don't know, tactical training, shooting training, people putting the hands in the ice bucket with water and ice, let the fingers there for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes until you don't have so good motricity, and then you can deploy and access your weapon. Again, fighting or making your drills on bad type of terrain with mud, you can have mud in your hands. It can be weather when, for example, it's raining a lot, so you have other type of conditions. Now the grip on your weapon, it will not be the same. So all the time we must develop this type of mindset to implement in our training different kind of scenarios that will simulate or reproduce different kind of changes that they are happening in a real situation. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this short video. I hope that it's coming as a small help for the ones that they are having different kind of duty belts, law enforcement officers or security officers. Please understand that I'm sharing only principles, and all these things must be tested and adapted to your own activities and your own equipment. Stay safe and train hard.